For number 12, there is a very fast and efficient algebra way of doing the question, and that's fine. But honestly, if you're watching this video, it's probably because you're not seeing the fast algebra way, or you're not that careful with your algebra. And so I'm going to use a different strategy because I think it's more effective. I think it's not that much longer, and I think that it actually gets us the points no matter what, instead of chancing it with algebra on a difficult question. So the first thing I notice is that the x's don't matter, right? There's x's in the question, there's x's in the answer choices. The x is just a placeholder. And so we can replace the placeholder with a number and see what happens. That is the arithmetize strategy, and it is so easy, and it works for all sorts of difficult algebra questions. So if you're looking at an algebra question and you're a little confused, see if you can replace the variables with numbers. In this case, the thing that I would love to use, 0, can't really work because they told us that x has to be greater than 0. So I'm not going to tempt the algebra gods. I'm just going to follow their instruction. And I'm going to instead make x equal to 1. Okay, it's the simplest number I can think of. So what that means then is I just rewrite this expression with 1 in place of my x. So now it's going to be 1 over 2 times 1 plus 1 plus 5. Okay, well that's not so bad. 1 over, well, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, and then 5 is 5. Now these are kind of annoying numbers to add. We have to deal with the fractions, but you need to know how to deal with this level of fraction. So this complication shouldn't throw you off too badly. What we want to do is, remember, multiply both the top and the bottom of our fraction by 3 so we can get a common denominator and add. And so that lets us add 1/3 plus 15/3 to get 16/3. So that is like our magic number. Obviously, that's not an answer choice because we got rid of our x's and all of our answer choices have an x. But if we're replacing x with 1 in the original question, then we also need to replace x with 1 in the answer choices. And when we do, we're looking to get the same thing. We're looking to get 16/3. So just be methodical here. Let's go through. So if I did 2x plus 5 over 2x plus 1, that would really just be 2 times 1 plus 5 over 2 times 1 plus 1. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 5, that's going to be 7. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So 7/3 is not 16/3, so that choice is gone. Let's keep moving. And you'll notice there's some shortcuts here. Because we keep picking 1, or we have picked 1 as our answer, it's kind of like the x doesn't exist. We can just add the coefficient without dealing with the other pieces. So this is going to be 8/3, and that's not right. And then we keep going. This is 10 times 1 plus 5 over 2 times 1 plus 1. So that's 15/3. We're getting close, but still no good. And then finally, 10 times 1 plus 6 over 2 times 1 plus 1 is, in fact, what we're looking for, 16/3, and that is the answer. So that's awesome. That's great. That's not that much time or mental energy, and it gets us the answer pretty perfectly. Now, if you really want to know the algebra way, what we need to do from the start is take our expression and know that in order to add fractions, we need to have a common denominator. And so it's actually the same exact thing that we did with the numbers, but now it's a little bit more confusing because in order to get our common denominator with the 5, we need to multiply it by 2x plus 1 over 2x plus 1. It's a messy denominator this time. And so when we do that, we're going to need to make sure we distribute that 5 to the entire thing, and that is what people tend to forget, and that's why they get it wrong. So when we do that, we're going to have 1 over 2x plus 1 plus 10x plus 5 over 2x plus 1, and then we can combine the 5 and the 1 to get 10x plus 6 over 2x plus 1, which is exactly what we got. Now look, if you are great at algebra, that algebra way isn't so bad. But if you stared at this question for a long time trying to figure out what to do, or you tried that and you made a careless mistake, because there's a lot you could make here. You could fail to distribute, Or you could see the 10x plus 5 over 2x plus 1. That's choice C. You could ignore the first part because you get so carried away. So there's a lot of opportunities for mistakes with the algebra, or you might just not even know where to get started. And this is why arithmetize is such a valuable strategy, because on lots of hard algebra questions, it's a way to get started. It gives you something to do. And you can see that we ended up doing a lot of the same steps when we arithmetized. But they were easier because we didn't have to deal with the letters. We didn't have to deal with distribution. We were just able to multiply and do some basic arithmetic. That's what makes arithmetize so great, is it makes the same math that you need to do anyway, makes it much easier. So when you get stuck, try to pick numbers, see if it gets you unstuck.